Bible verses about love and trust, trusts, loving, verses, classes, etymology. 25 Bible verses about love and trust, list verse and description. Bible verses about love and trust. 1 Corinthians 13 4-8. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. 1 John 4 7-8. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. Romans 12 9-10. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. Proverbs 3 5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Matthew 18:20. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Colossians 3:12-13. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. 1 Peter 4:8. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. 1 Corinthians 16:14. Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. John 15:13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Ephesians 4:2-3. Be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. 1 John 4:16. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. Psalm 118:6. The Lord is with me, I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Matthew 5:44. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Hebrews 13:5. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests but each of you to the interests of the others. Psalm 25:14. The Lord confides in those who fear him. He makes his covenant known to them. 1 John 4:12. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us and his love is made complete in us. Proverbs 3:3-4. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Philippians 1:9. And this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight. John 13:34-35. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. 1 Corinthians 13:13. And now these three remain: faith, hope and love, but the greatest of these is love. Etymology of the biblical word love. Bible verses. Origin. God. The word love is derived from the Latin word amor, which means to love. This Latin word has roots in the Proto-Indo-European language, and it was used in ancient Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic. Hebrew. In the Hebrew Bible, the term love is derived from the Hebrew word ahava, which means to love. This term is used to describe a deep affection or attachment, and it is often used in reference to God's love for his people. Greek. John. In the New Testament, the word love is derived from the Greek word agape, which means to love. This term is used to describe a higher form of love that is unconditional and spiritual. Aramaic. In the Aramaic language, the term love is derived from the word hesed, which means to love. This term is used to describe a kind of love that is particularly loving and compassionate. Sources of conflict throughout history. The various forms of the word love have been used to describe different types of relationships and feelings. This has created sources of conflict as different groups of people have had different interpretations of the term. For example, different religions may have different views on what love is and how it should be expressed. Additionally, different cultures may have different ideas of what love is and how it should be expressed. As a result, these different views have created sources of conflict between groups of people. Etymology of the biblical word trust, life, origin. The word trust can be traced back to its Latin roots, trutina, which means balance or scales. From this origin, it came to signify the idea of something being weighed and the idea of commitment or assurance. This concept of trust was then adopted by the Hebrews and later the Greeks and Aramaic-speaking peoples. Hebrew. In the Hebrew Bible, the word for trust is emunah. This word is derived from the root word aman, which means to be sure, firm, or reliable. This indicates that trust was related to the idea of reliability and assurance. Greek. In the Greek New Testament, the word for trust is epsilon sigma epsilon beta epsilon iota alpha, eusebia, which is derived from the word epsilon sigma epsilon beta eta sigma, eusebs, which means pious or devout. This indicates that trust was related to the idea of piety or devotion. Aramaic. In the Aramaic language, the word for trust is imanah. This word is derived from the root word iman, which means to be strong, firm, or reliable. This indicates that trust was related to the idea of strength and reliability. Sources of conflict. The different cultures that use the term trust had different interpretations of its meaning. For example, the Hebrews often associated trust with a sense of faithfulness and assurance, while the Greeks associated trust with piety and devotion. This could lead to confusion and even conflict when the two terms were used in the same context. Final thoughts. Trust is an important concept in the Bible and is used in many contexts. Its etymology can be traced back to its Latin roots and then to its adoption by the Hebrews, Greeks, and Aramaic-speaking peoples. Each of these cultures had a different interpretation of the concept, which could lead to confusion and even conflict. Understanding the origin and meaning of trust is essential for Christians to properly understand its use in Scripture. For classes at MEC Institute. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, welcome to our family. View all posts.